The war between Donald Trump and Karl Rove continues to heat up. Let's discuss. I'm Dave Aronberg, former state attorney for Palm Beach County, a.k.a. the Florida LawMan, here on Legal AF. As you can see, I'm on the road, but the show must go on. And I've done a couple videos now on the ever-growing war between Donald Trump and the top Republican consultant back when the Republican Party was more than a party of one, Karl Rove, who was the architect of the George W. Bush administration in getting him and other Republicans elected, and he's now a Fox News analyst, and that's a Rupert Murdoch outlet, of course, and that same Karl Rove has been going after Donald Trump, but Donald Trump has returned fire. Clearly, Karl Rove gets under Donald Trump's skin. This is part of the politics side of Legal AF, and that is Donald Trump's attack on Karl Rove. Now Karl Rove is responding in an editorial in another Rupert Murdoch outlet, the Wall Street Journal opinion page. And by the way, they're not going to put something on their opinion page that they don't want Donald Trump to see. They want Donald Trump to see this. They want Trump to change policies, change direction. They've been very critical of Trump on tariffs. They've been very critical of Trump's foreign policy when it comes to Ukraine. And now you've got an opinion piece from Karl Rove that says, "How I became Trump's total loser." And what he's referring to is a post that Trump made on Truth Social where he said, quote, "I don't need to have Karl Rove of Fox News to tell me what to do. The guy's a total loser who's been wrong about almost everything." Okay, so how did Karl Rove get under Trump's skin? Well, most recently, Rove was on Trey Gowdy's show on Fox, and Trey Gowdy asked Rove what Trump's electoral mandate was coming into the term. And Karl Rove responded, it was to secure the border, stop inflation, get rid of this DEI stuff. This is the stuff that Karl Rove said. Karl Rove, remember, is coming at this as a lifetime Republican. And then when Gowdy asked Karl Rove for the progress that Trump has made, well, he then said that Trump gets a grade of incomplete when it comes to inflation. Inflation is down but not yet licked, and all the talk of tariffs has caused a lot of concern about the economy. Consider the Fox News April 21st poll. Only 33% of voters approve of Mr. Trump's handling of inflation, and 38% approve of his work on the economy. Generally, majorities disapprove on both. But perhaps, according to Karl Rove in his op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, what set Trump off was his suggestion that he stop saying gasoline costs $1.98 a gallon in many states right now. It isn't that cheap anywhere, and Americans know it. The American Automobile Association says the national average for a gallon of regular gas Wednesday was $3.154, with the lowest price $2.64.9 in Mississippi. Mr. Trump can keep asserting inflation is fixed because gas is less than $2, but that's how his predecessor got in trouble. You see, this is the thing. Trump is used to people just going along with up is down, down is up, with just saying whatever, and then, okay, right, sure. We've licked inflation, the stock market's up, no, and when it comes to gas, that's something that Americans can see. And so when he blames, for example, Biden for the sinking stock market or for inflation, calling it the Biden economy, just after he called it the Trump stock market when the stock market was up, no one's believing that, except maybe his most hardcore MAGA folks who are just going to listen to anything he says and just obviously don't have a mind of themselves. So they're just going to do whatever their leader tells them to do. But that's a shrinking part of the public. We're not talking about the majority of people or even a significant minority. We're talking about a very shrinking size of the public that will just agree with anything he says. So when prices go up, when the tariffs really inflict financial harm on people, they're going to turn away from Trump. Those aren't the diehards that'll be with him no matter what. And that is the reason why people like Karl Rove, that's the reason why people like Rupert Murdoch are trying to get in Trump's ear, because they see the electoral disaster that's coming. You don't have to wait 4 years for it. You just have to wait till November of 2026. We're already seeing signs in the special elections that are happening. But the midterms have the possibility of derailing the entire Trump agenda. So I guess get the free airplanes from the Qataris now, right? So, according to the Wall Street Journal op-ed, the conversation with Mr. Gowdy focused in on tariffs. I suggested it didn't help Mr. Trump, a billionaire, when he said young girls must sacrifice in America by getting fewer dolls at Christmas, which he admitted will cost a couple of bucks more. These comments made him sound like Scrooge. I opined, get less, pay more isn't a winning message. At this point, I said it was more important to show some progress on trade than to give speeches justifying his actions. The goal is to announce deals in which major trading partners agree our tariffs on each other's goods and services is going to be 0 or 5%. So, as my conversation with Mr. Gowdy drew to a close, I suggested that Team Trump stay focused on important issues, don't stir up needless controversy like the president tweeting a picture of himself as the Pope. That's offensive, even to non-Catholics like me. Just as an aside on that, I don't get all hot and bothered by that, because that's the distraction he wants. He wants us to talk about the picture of him as the Pope, when in reality, the real things that are hurting Americans, the threats to our democracy, the rising costs based on his tariffs, the stock market, which jeopardizes the 401ks of millions of Americans, the capitulation when it comes to Russia, the corruption, like taking a free 747 from the Qataris, putting into personal use after using it as Air Force One. The whole thing just reeks. I mean, those are the real issues. So if we just are distracted and talking about the picture of him as a Pope, that's what he wants. That's what he wants us to do. You got to keep your eye on the ball here. And Karl Rove seems to be susceptible to the same thing. He's bringing that up about that's offensive. Okay, yeah, I get it. But what's really offensive, I think, is the degradation of our democracy, of our economy, of our reputation around the world, of corruption rampant throughout government. That's the kind of stuff that really should bother us all. And then Karl Rove, of all people, went after Trump when it came to Abrego Garcia. You remember, Trump's take now is that Abrego Garcia is a bad dude, and so he justified all this. Karl Rove saying, stop it. Don't waste time talking about that. And don't suggest that he can't be retrieved from the El Salvador prison. That reeks of weakness. Indeed, it does. When you say, I don't have the power to get this person back from El Salvador when we're paying El Salvador to take this individual, that reeks of weakness. That's the kind of thing that'll influence Trump, by the way. It's not you're doing the wrong thing. It's no, you look weak. So Karl Rove said, bring Mr. Garcia back to the United States and put him in a courtroom. If he's as bad as the president says, then it's game, set, match. If not, he'll get justice and the issue will fade. If Mr. Garcia stays in El Salvador, this sideshow will keep diminishing the president's numbers. In the Fox poll, 55% approve and 40% disapprove of Mr. Trump's handling of border security, but only 45% approve of his handling of deportation, while 49% disapprove, and that is a Fox News poll. So that's where Karl Rove is saying, why is he offended about this? He said, what Mr. Trump found so offensive in all this is beyond me. Maybe he doesn't like to be second-guessed. You think? Maybe my praise wasn't lavish enough. You think? Come on, where have you been, dude? So Karl Rove conclude by saying that it doesn't matter much beyond my own curiosity. Insults come with the territory, and I've certainly received worse. Plus, it's never really clear how serious Mr. Trump's name-calling shtick is. He slammed some members of his administration much harder, and some of them have tossed pretty harsh names his way too. My job as a commentator remains. Call balls and strikes. I'll keep doing that, and I'll be grateful whenever the president tunes in. Americans want the president to succeed no matter who he is or what party we are. Yeah, but we don't want the rule of law to be destroyed, and we don't want people to be deprived of due process. We don't want the Constitution just to be something that's a piece of paper that's tossed aside and forgotten. It means something. And we wish that the people who claimed that they were constitutional conservatives will actually remember that first word, constitutional, and actually live up to the dictates of the document that they supposedly love and revere. But I know we will here at Legal AF. We'll keep following this. I'm Dave Aronberg, a.k.a. the Florida LawMan. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share with a friend, leave a comment below. Thank you for for getting us well over 600,000 subscribers. We appreciate your support, and I'll see you next time.
I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok Firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.